our Torah portion this week is Shakat, which means statues. So we're doing, we're just going to do half Torah. We get to the Torah portion a little bit later. But Torah portion today, or half Torah's portion today will come from Judges 11, pretty much the whole chapter. And you're going to have Danielle read that portion, and we're also going to have Helem kind of give his a little interpretation to what he judged what he has. He says he's studied this character very well, so I'm gonna and is able to tie certain things and certain relations from this character back into Leviticus. So you want to see, where he's gonna come from with that. Gonna see. But
Go ahead, sister. We're gonna go straight off the.
And we also have Brother Uriah over here. He's gonna kind of give his with the arm and everything, arm of salvation, right there, wrapped up. But hopefully we should have some other people coming in. Maybe they'll join into the Midrash or so. Again, it's pretty much just Midrash going over, But anyway, we can go ahead. We're going to begin.
Judges 11, verse 1. Now Jephthah the Gileadite was a mighty man of a valor, and he was the son of a prostitute, and Gilead became the father of Jephthah. Gilead's wife bore him sons, and when his wife's sons grew up, they drove out Jephthah, and said to him, "You shall not inherit in our father's house, for you are the son of another woman."
So you see, give me one Shabbat right there. So you see right now his brothers have actually ostracized him because he was not the son of an actual Hebrew woman. He was the son of a prostitute. So they felt like he shouldn't have no paternal
rights.
No paternal rights because of the mother he came from.
Then Jephthah fled from his brothers and lived in the land of Tob. And there were gathered vain fellows to Jephthah, and they went out with him. It happened after a while that the children of Ammon made war against Israel. It was so that when the children of Ammon made war against Israel, the elders of Gilead went to get Jephthah out of the land of Tob.
Now you see Shabbat right there. Now you see clearly. Now they've already kicked him out, but now when danger pops up, now they can see that he has a power that they need. They need this brother to come back to save them, because they're worried that the Ammonites are getting ready to take over. The Ammonites are coming to attack them. And now they got to go get the brother that they've ostracized, made him run out. Now they want to bring him back and basically make him a judge. Go ahead.
And they said to Jephthah, "Come and be our chief, that we may fight with the children of Ammon." Jephthah said to the elders of Gilead, "Did you not hate me and drive me out of my father's house? And why have you come to me now when you are in distress?"
Don't you see that that's something that people love to do? They love to push people. They love to push you away, and they love to ostracize you until they literally need you.
They don't know what they have until it's gone.
And then you want to, in Jephthah's position, he's like, "Well, y'all kicked me out. I had to go to a whole nother territory. Didn't y'all run me out of here? Now y'all calling me back?" Go ahead and read, sis.
The elders of Gilead said to Jephthah, "Therefore we have turned again to you now, that you may go with us and fight with the children of Ammon, and you shall be our head over all the inhabitants of Gilead." Jephthah said to the elders of Gilead, "If you bring me home again to fight with the children of Ammon, and Yahweh delivers them before me, shall I be your head?" The elders of Gilead said to Jephthah, Yahweh shall be witness between us. Surely according to your word, so will we do. Then Jephthah went with the elders of Gilead. And the
Yeah, so he made a deal, he made a pact, he set it up like, now, if I come back and I defeat these Ammonites, y'all gonna make me chief over y'all. You know, I need to be chief. So he's setting it up to the point where I don't want to hear no more of this. I was born of a prostitute woman. I'm going to have stake and claim in Yashpra.
Don't run me out again.
Don't run me out, because I'm going to be a chief, so you won't be able to run me. I'll be running y'all out of here. Go ahead, Akuti.
And the people made him head and chief over them. And Jephthah spoke all his words before Yahweh in Mizpah. Jephthah sent messengers to the king of children of Ammon, saying, What have you to do with me, that you are come to me to fight against my land? The king of the children of Ammon answered to the messengers of Jephthah, Because Israel took away my land when he came up out of Egypt from the Aaron even to the Jabbok and to the Jordan. Now therefore restore it peaceably. And the messengers returned to Jephthah, and Jephthah sent messengers again to the king of children of Ammon. And he said to him, Thus says Jephthah, Israel did not take away the land of Moab, nor the land of the children of Ammon. But when they came up from Egypt, and Israel went through the wilderness to the sea of Suph, and came to Kadesh. Then Israel sent messengers to the king of Edom, saying, Please let me pass through your land. But the king of Edom did not listen. In the same way he sent to the king of Moab, but he would not. So Israel stayed in Kadesh. Then they went through the wilderness, and went around the land of Edom and the land of Moab, and came by the east side of the land of Moab. And they camped on the other side of Aaron. But they did not come within the territory of Moab, for the Aaron was the boundary of Moab. Israel sent messengers to Sihon, king of Amorites, the king of Heshbon. And Israel said to him, Please let us pass through your land to our land. But Sihon...
Hold on, let me just make a quick comment. So we this is literally dealing with what we were talking about earlier today.
It hit me too.
So it's making sense now that when we, because you got to remember, there's going to be a eternal beef between Israel, Ammon, and Moab. Even when we go into Devarim, the 23rd chapter, around the 4th verse, Moab and Ammon can never come into the assembly of the Most High. Never. So, and this king, he's actually letting them know, well, when y'all came out, y'all took all our stuff. You took all our land. So we want to fight you. So it was always going to be a perpetual beef. And then he's trying to explain to them that we didn't really take your land. It was given up to us. So go ahead.
Okay.
Young guy.
But Sihon did not trust Israel to pass through his territory. But Sihon gathered all his people together and camped in Jahaz and fought against Israel. Yahweh, the God of Israel, delivered Sihon and all his people into the hand of Israel, and they struck them. So Israel proposed all the land of the Amorites, the inhabitants of that country. They possess all the territory of the Amorites, from the Aaron even to the Jabbok, and from the wilderness even to the Jordan. So now Yahweh, the God of Israel, has driven out the Amorites from before his people, and should you possess them? Won't you possess that which Chemosh, your God, gives to you to possess? So whoever Yahweh, our God, has driven out from before us, we will possess.
That's right. So he telling them, we didn't take this stuff, y'all gave it to us. You know,
we're not gonna take it.
Y'all gave us this stuff. So whatever you talking about that we came up out of Egypt and took it, it was ours to begin with. It was already promised to Abraham. Yishak, and Yaquab. It was already written. What can you do?
Right.
Go ahead, sis.
And now, are you anything better than Balak, the son of Zippor, king of Moab? Did he ever contend against Israel, or did he ever fight against them? While Israel lived in Heshbon and its towns, and in Erah and its towns, and in all the cities that are along by the side of Aaron, 300 years, why did you not recover them within that time? I therefore have not sinned against you, but you do me wrong by making war against me. Yahweh the judge be judged this day between the children of Israel and the children of Ammon. However, the king of the children of Ammon did not listen to the words of Jephthah, which he sent him. Then the spirit of Yahweh came to Jephthah, and he passed over Gilead and Manasseh, and passed over Mizpah and Gilead. And from Mizpah of Gilead he passed over to the children of Ammon. Jephthah made a vow to Yahweh and said, if you will indeed deliver the children of Ammon to my hand, then it shall be that whatever comes forth from the doors of my house to meet me, when I return in peace from the children of Ammon, it shall be Yahweh's, and I will offer it up for a burnt offering.
Now, this part is very important, because he's vowing the first person, whatever meets me after this campaign, I'm going to offer it up. Mm-hmm. So now we're going to see if the scriptures allow for human sacrifice or not.
Okay.
Well, we already know the story of Abraham and Isaac, so we don't want to think this is something that's just too far-fetched. Mm-hmm. So let's read on and see who comes out to meet Jephthah after his victory.
Okay. So Jephthah passed over to the children of Ammon to fight against them, and Yahweh delivered them into his hand. He struck them from Erah until you come into Meneth, even 20 cities to Abel, Karim, with a very great slaughter. So the children of Ammon were subdued before the children of Israel. Jephthah came to Mizpah, to his house, and behold, his daughter came out to meet him with tambourines and with dances.
So who came out to meet him?
His daughter.
His daughter. So guess what? He's already vowed her up. It was the first thing. So when we go, let's go over to Leviticus 27 real quick, just to show what happens when the Most High says, when he takes on the vow of a person. And I'm gonna start.
I kind of also want to kind of make a clarification that this is also not pertaining, because there's also a difference between human sacrifice in the sense of it being for sin compared to this as a vow or something like that. There's a difference between one being used in the sense of he's been offering up as a sin sacrifice.
This isn't considered a sin sacrifice. This is about when sacrifice is offered unconditionally. There's no condition on this one. So when we look at Shabbat Shalom, I got you. When we look at Vayikra, the 27th chapter, I'll start around verse 28, and it says, "Nothing, however, that someone vows unconditionally to Yah may be redeemed." So if you vow, whatever you vow to him, you can't get it back. And it says, nothing he possesses, be it human being or animal or field of his ancestral property, whatever is vowed unconditionally is especially holy and belongs to Yah. A human being vowed unconditionally cannot be redeemed, but will be put to death. All right? So now when we go back over to Judges the 11th chapter.
What were we just now?
Verse 34.
No, what was that Leviticus?
That was
also,
Leviticus.
because that also
That was
explains-
Leviticus 27, and I started at the 28th verse through 29.
This also explains, and the reason why David and Bathsheba's firstborn son was also taken as well, because the firstborn son is always dedicated to the Most High as well. It's always, you always dedicate your firstborn to the Most High. It's automatically dedicated. The fact that their union was kind of an unholy union, then that sacrifice had to be made, or that vow had been, I would say, corrupted or messed up, in a sense where it was deemed that firstborn was going to be made unholy.
Okay, question. Okay, so what he was doing, he was saying that he would give up his daughter, as he will kill his daughter for the Most High.
He didn't know who was coming out. He said, whatever comes out first. So whatever would have came out, that's why when you read on, you're going to see that when he saw his daughter, he tore his clothes.
He was mad.
Really?
Yeah, he was.
Okay.
Go to where is that? So she came out with the tambourines.
And dance and with
So go
dances.
verse 35.
Okay. It happened when he saw her that he tore his clothes and said, "Alas, my daughter, you have brought me very low, and you are one of those who trouble me. For I have given my word to Yahweh, and I can't break it." She said to him, "My father, since you have given your word to Yahweh, do to me as you promised, because Yahweh has taken vengeance for you on your enemies, even on the children of Ammon." She said to her father, "Let this thing be done for me. Leave me alone 2 months, then that I may depart and go down on the mountains and weep because of my virginity, and I may compassions."
That's something right there.
Yeah.
Because she's not even, she hasn't even known a man yet. So she's going to die, she's going to die a virgin.
I thought virginities meant young.
Well, yeah, still. I mean, the whole.
She's still in her father's house, so
the whole aspect.
she's probably untouched by a man. Because
The whole aspect of a virgin, the whole definition of a virgin being, just the whole ideology of a virgin meaning somebody who was unclean. That was pretty real common among women. That they wasn't gonna have sex until they was married. So
Right.
the whole idea of them being a virgin was young in that sense, but
Clean as well.
yes, was clean as well. Yeah, exactly.
and she's still in her father's house.
she's still
Remember,
in
in Numbers 30, it tells us that the father can he can override any vow she makes until she's married. And once she goes to her husband, and the husband he maintains
That's when
the
he's
right
covered on that,
to cut off any vows that she makes and make them null. So so when we're reading here, this girl is still under the control of her father. She's still in her father's house. So we have to take the virginity here as she's actually untouched. She's actually an untouched woman.
Which is pretty devastating.
That's why she needed 2 months to. That's kind of like I just came out to meet my dad. I'm thinking I'm coming out with some tambourines, some songs, a little song and dance. And now I gotta go. I gotta die. Shalom. Nasi just walked in. Hey, thanks. Shalom.
All right, give us a second. No, it's not cut out.
Beat up prostitutes when they're trying to get us. I told you no. I'm a healthy Hebrew.
Baghead is He smacked her head out the pockets, man.
No. How are you?
Yeah, kind of.
You got that song there?
So you got so we don't have that much left on this one.
No, we can finish
so we
it,
can we can get the good gist. Shabbat shalom, sisters.
Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom.
Twins.
Okay.
What you doing? Y'all want to go to study?
Yeah, we in the middle of Midrash right now, so No, you good.
I'm talking about, let me get some people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you already know. Yeah, I already know.
Okay. 39?
Yeah.
It's across.
Yeah, 31.
We got what?
Got these beautiful
39.
Hebrews pouring in on the feast day.
It happened at the end of 2 months that she returned. It happened at the end of 2 months that she returned to her father, who did with her according to what he had vowed. And she was a virgin. It became a custom in Israel that the daughters of Israel went yearly 4 days in a year to commemorate the daughter of Jephthah and Gileadite. Are we going to 12?
Is that the,
No,
was that the
that's
end of
it. That's
11?
it for.
Yeah, that was
It was
it.
actually.
Okay.
It was actually supposed to go to 33. I didn't know if this was going to be that long though, but yeah, we can. Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, there's a feast that women are supposed to be doing that comes out of this. We never see this going
Never
on.
seen this in practice.
I never heard of it. What is it?
Well, it's saying that when it became a custom in Israel,
Right.
and it says, and hence the custom in Israel for the daughters of Israel to leave home year by year, so that's every year, and lament over the daughter of Jephthah, the Gileadite, for 4 days every year.
So y'all
supposed to be doing this.
Y'all
4
literally
days
supposed to
every
be
year.
in the wilderness, kind of like, or having like a women compile thing for 4 days.
Morning.
Just yeah.
So hopefully none of the men ever make a vow that puts you at risk. That's, so sisters, if you know the brother's got to go out and do something, tell them don't make no vows that's gonna mess me up. I might not, because you might not want to come outside. He might have told him the first thing that comes to me is sacrifice. You might even say the first 10 things. Now your whole household is
coming out.
household gone because you made a vow.
But this also indicates that be careful on exactly what vow that you make with the Most High. Don't just make none if you're not really prepared to keep it. Like there's certain vows. I mean, there's certain vows that people would take and stuff like that, but with other people, and we don't really try to hold on to a lot. I know a lot of us would take oaths and stuff like that, not really. And a lot of times we get caught like that with that.
Shabbat shalom.
But a lot of people will do that with fast as well. Like they will start a fast, and in the middle of it, kind of like break the fast or something like that. Same thing with the oath. If you're not really prepared to take up a vow or oath with the Most High or anything like that, don't do it. Or whatever you speak, if you're not ready to go, you're not really going to go all the way through with it. When Most High is like, okay, well, I did this for you, return a favor. I mean, the Most High didn't ask for, his daughter. And he's like, if you give me your daughter, I'm gonna do this. He said, I will offer my daughter, if you do it. Like he made it.
So he wanted a child.
Say what?
He wanted a child.
What do you mean?
When he was offering.
He was just basically.
Like
he was basically, in my opinion, he was just running his mouth like, okay,
yeah,
if you deliver, because you got to remember, he got kicked out of his territory. Then when the Ammonites come up, now the people start to see his value, and the elders want him back. Mm-hmm. So now he's up there and he's a chief. So he's probably really feeling himself. Come on, brother, sit in. I just want to listen.
Yes, sir.
So the brother's actually feeling himself, and so he's talking to Yah, and he said, well, the first thing that comes out, I vow on conditions, but he did not. It never crossed his mind that it would be his own child, and this is his only child. He don't have any other kids, so he has vowed his only child to the Most High, and according to the law, it cannot be redeemed. She must die, according to what we read in Leviticus 27.
I mean, it's kind of like somebody come out there and be like, well, I'll give you $1,000 if you could jump across the, like it's not really telling if you could jump across this bridge or jump across this ridge, but he was like, just out of boasting or something like that. I mean, I'll give you $1,000, and if somebody literally jump across the bridge, you're like, fine, bet, jump across this bridge, and they jump across the bridge and stuff like that. It's they get that $1,000. They're gonna be looking, they're gonna be looking for that money. They're gonna be looking for your, like.
So he made the oath for what? To become the chief over.
Well, he made the oath to get a victory. So he was hoping that because the whole reason they brought him back to Israel, or brought him back into the territory, so he could help them win over the Ammonites. That's the only reason they got him back.
Okay.
Otherwise, they looking at him as a. Man, I was waiting on you to hit me too, man. I'm gonna rap with you in just a moment. So the only reason he's back in the territory is because the elders want his help against the Ammonites. But he's also understanding that I can't get a victory without Yah. So I'm gonna go ahead and talk to Yah about this and give a vow on something. But he wasn't specific. He didn't even have a clue that it was going to be his daughter. That's why he tore his clothes.
So that verse, it said when she came out. So he didn't see her until years later.
When he was coming back, because let's go back to Judges, the 11th chapter, and.
Which one? Judges?
Yeah, we were at the 3rd chapter.
Verse 30.
Verse 30.
Verse 30 when he...
Yiftah made a vow to Yah.
Okay, there it is.
He said, if you give the children of Ammon into my hands, it shall be that whatever comes out of the doors of my house to meet me, when I return in peace from the children of Ammon, shall belong to Yah. And that was his daughter that ran out of there.
His daughter came out. His only child came out. So
the Most High did that for a reason.
A test. It's a test of faith. I mean,
if he didn't make the vow, that's why Solomon said in Ecclesiastes, don't make no vow.
Because you'll be tested.
Yeah, because it's sealed in heaven. Whatever you make, the vows that you make on earth, they're gonna be held in the heavens. It's like the best thing to do is not to even make one.
Right.
And so you're ready.
Right. It's a scripture in the book that says that the Father is the one who judges all lots anyway. So if you were to say, well, if this is going to be so, then this is going to be so, the Father then decided on what it is, it's going to be so. So if you say, hey, look, we just going to cast lots and see who's going to do a certain thing, the book says that the Father already decided anyway. Right. So when he said, hey, this is going to happen, and his daughter happened to show up, well, the Father wanted to see how serious are you about what you're saying. And so I'm going to put it in and make it in a situation where it's personal to you, where you're going to have to, put up or shut up, because he don't want you to lie to him about a thing.
Right.
And further you say a thing out your mouth, you got to back up exactly what it is that you're saying. Because the scripture say, don't make a vow, because he going to hold it against you.
He definitely will. He definitely will. I mean, it's quite a few situations, like the situation with Abraham with Isaac. That's a test. Abraham's whole theory being bent. Whole ideology being bent on keeping faith with this one God and stuff like that through any means necessary. Through any means necessary and stuff like that. And all that. But at the same time, according to the flesh, all that Abraham wanted was a son and stuff like that. So now his flesh had to be tested as well.
When he was about to kill his son.
When he was about to,
Okay.
Just so he says that, well, I won't pit nothing above the Most High and stuff like that. Yeah, so now, and I can see Jephthah, being tested the exact same way with his daughter. Exact same way. He made that vow, I'll do anything, just bring me victory, Most High. I offer the first thing that comes out of my house. That's pretty much both. I could really see that as being like a boastful talking and stuff like that, saying like, I bet $5 I'll do that. this is boastful talking and stuff like that, but making I would say rational vows. This is pretty much
Numbers.
like that.
Because the Most High will test you on it.
Well, it says Numbers 30. I'll start at verse 1.
Numbers 30.
And it says, Moses told the Israelites exactly what Yah had ordered him. Moses spake to the tribal leaders of the Israelites and said, "This is what Yah has ordered. If a man makes a vow to Yah or a formal pledge under oath, he must not break his word. Whatever the promises by the word of the mouth, he must do." So there you have it. So that's, you said you obligated. That's why when you get into, I know Solomon mentioned, not making vows. There's no reason, why do it? I would have rather him said, I'll give all the spoils, I'll sacrifice all the spoils that I get from the children of Ammon to you. Don't put it on your own house, though.
Whatever comes out of the house.
You put it on your own house. But that's a very interesting story, but it also shows that that Yah will take a human sacrifice. So we can't. I know it sounds kind of crazy. A lot of people think it might be contrary to what they believe, but if we go to the law, we showed it that in Leviticus 27 that if you vow something, that thing can't be redeemed and it must die. Human being too, it must die.
Let me back you up with that.
Go ahead, Ida.
It's a verse that the Father says that all of the firstborn of the womb of the matrons are mine anyway.
Right.
So you had to redeem that firstborn, or it died basically by an animal of some sort. So if it was a firstborn of a son, we had to come and bring a lamb as the redemption to that firstborn that automatically was brought or belonged to the Father. So it's still technically his, but you had to do some type of sacrifice to be able to receive what is yours, which is a blessing from him. So he wants the first fruit of the blessing.
Right.
And that's the same thing with the womb. So his daughter belonged to the Father anyway. He just wanted you to rededicate him. And so he utilized your own tongue
You
to
like
catch
your
you in
own
the do
tongue.
it. So that's why you got to be very wise. I know that personally. Right before what you say, you got to think hard on it, because there's life in your mouth. There's death in your tongue.
True.
So we speak it before it come to pass, or whatever you speaking, he writing down as well.
That's right.
He wants that to be what it is that you mean.
Bless.
Well, how does this go? Is there two different classes going on?
It is two different congregations here now.
We're trying to bring it all together.
Yeah, we're trying to bring it all together.
Just listen.
Okay. I know. I was just making sure.
We're trying to unite.
It's a blessing that two of them come together and ain't nobody fight.
No, man, we can't. Man, listen.
That's all about unity.
We can't have all these factions either. This is the thing that I'm trying my hardest. I'm putting all my effort into making sure that we can't keep doing this back and forth and thinking one can't. We all Israel.
Right.
That's kind of really why I want the danger to pop up, because brothers and sisters ain't gonna get it until our survival is dependent upon one another. Right now, while we out here Shabbat Shalom and we can put gas in our car and go get sew-in weed, we got all this stuff we can do. We can't keep a mindset on one accord, because there's just so many different avenues. But once that danger come in and start pushing us to that direction that we have to go, all the camps gonna go away. You gonna be just happy to see somebody with some fringes dripping.
That's a good point.
You ain't gonna care about what camp they belong to.
That's a good point, because I mean, it's same topic but different example. But we've been saying for the longest, why can't we pool our money together and do something? Why can't we do this, do that? All this stuff that's been happening within the last week. All of a sudden, everybody started a stream of text messages, and we didn't open 1.2 million accounts that Citizens Trust Bank.
How long is Citizens?
It took this type of trauma to happen within the community for us to come together somewhat. And you make a good point.
How long has Citizens Trust been out? I mean,
Forever.
I've known about Citizens Trust for about 15 years. I mean, I recently just found out that it was black owned, but I've known about Citizens Trust for a minute. But I know about Wells Fargo, Chase, even in Texas was Washington Mutual and stuff like that. I know, like, you know, all these white banks and stuff like that. But,
Those are the big.
you know, big banks and stuff like that. And that's when I pay my accounts in. And now all of a sudden that we're going through this whole thing, like he's saying, you know, it takes a huge event to happen to us for us to even unify. You know, it took a whole event for, like, you know, back in the 70s, like for the you know, Panther parties to come across, and, you know, the original Crips, the original Blood groups, you know, the original societies that came and tried to gather among, you know, try to get our community back balanced and stuff like that, try to open up certain businesses and stuff like that, so we can help our community grow. But as long as we try to be like, you know, well, mine, you know, well, my grocery store is better than this grocery store. My food, once y'all can find, you know, stuff like that. It's several different ways.
Here's the other thing, though.
Try to find a common ground.
I don't want us to think that our salvation is tied into their economic system. It's not. It is not. It ain't never going to work. I think that every time we get a situation in our community, we always want to go to economics first. And I don't see how you put the cart in front of the horse, because it's not going to work if you don't go to Yah first.
Yeah.
It is not going to ever work. We can't. That's why the curses are on us. It tells you you're going to go to your enemy for the lack and want of all things. So even in these black banks, guess what? They got to go under the governmental. They got to go under all the scrutiny of the government. Okay, they getting scrutinized by the Federal Reserve as well. They don't have, just because they're a black bank doesn't mean that there's a golden parachute that you won't get at the other banks. We have to understand that we got to start loving one another first. Sometimes it ain't even about economics. I might be able to make a staff. You know what I mean? You might be able to grow beans, but you might need a staff when I might be hungry, and you might need a staff to go out and shepherd your flock.
Protect your
stuff. So I could go and make you a staff, and you could give me beans, because that's what we did. We weren't people just stuck on this monetary system, because we understood that the stuff that actually had value was the precious metal, the gold and the silver. You see it all. They talk about the shekels and the different weights that we use when we bought things or bartered things. But the thing that we're doing now, they've tricked us, because the actual forefathers of this country, they actually wanted coins, because there was silver in the metal. Mm-hmm. So they didn't want paper. But now you get people talking about it's all about the Benjamins. I got paper. You know what I mean? They tricked you. Right. They're making you think some paper is worth something. It ain't worth anything.
And they can back up behind it. Like, okay. And I've been doing like a lot of there's reasons on why, you know, Africa can't really flourish the way it can. They've been in a lot of I would say Western societies or Western democracy. It's was preventing them, like Gaddafi. Gaddafi was a perfect example of a person who was actually just trying to set world economic system, or was trying to set the world economic system back into the rightful hands. Africa is known for its gold. The currency that they was planning on introducing, which was African currency, would have definitely put Africa back onto the map, and its citizens would have been definitely bad. Like Ethiopia, Nigeria, all of them was like, and what Gaddafi was trying to do is make a currency, make pure gold, completely out of gold. Like there's no half silver, half gold, like pure gold. So like the country and them being one of the world's biggest oil supplies, they was going to charge their oil and said, well, you know, you have to have this specific currency in order to buy our gold. Buy our oil. America's currency was not adding up to that. Would not have added up to it, even if they wanted to. Everybody could have passed in, all of their retirement funds would have been slipping away. Social Security funds for trying to pay off this debt just so America could buy oil from them because this African or Middle Eastern currency was the only way you could purchase oil. Purchase oil, and it was completely by gold. But they had to get rid of these people because it's just a simple fact that they can keep the EU or the European currency at float. Cause that's the only thing that's the only thing that the US dollar was connected to. If the European currency, and that's why the European currency is crashing right now, is because there's a lot of gold that can't be backed up behind it. But Africa's goal, if Gaddafi's idea would have went through, it would have a lot of African countries would have been able to have enough gold to back that up, to back that currency up. But it's kind of crazy of how much manipulation is being played or is being worked out here. It's a lot of deceitfulness and stuff like that. And having us think one way or having a flock think one way when it actually is something else. Like we was told Gaddafi was a terrorist. He was killing his people and stuff like that. But yeah, Gaddafi had one of the best economy systems in the world known today. Had one of the best, had healthcare for everybody. If you got married, you got paid. You got acres.
Really?
You got acres and a lump sum. Everybody went to college.
I think they had some health care.
Yeah, they have free healthcare.
Instead of dowry.
Oh, it was a dowry for the people, not a dowry for like getting married, but a dowry.
Yeah, If you hit a certain age, I know they had some. I know they had one. If you got married, he was able to get acres for your family and live off the land and stuff like that. But they tied something, and Saddam Hussein was trying to do the exact same thing for the Middle East, but
Saddam
Hussein was trying to do the exact same thing for the Middle East. But the exact same story. And the first person I know that actually tried to set that up was Haile Selassie with the AOU, the African organized organization, AUO, African Unionized Organization or something. But he tried to start a currency with that. And they put into where he was fraud, he was he was doing treasury, treasoning, had Swiss accounts and stuff, stealing from his people and stuff like that. When he was trying to make a united African currency as well, but
So you think people just majority misunderstood him?
The government.
A lot. And it has a lot to do with the media. It has a lot to do with the media. Look how the media portrayed a lot of those people.
Well, America will always create an enemy. They've done that forever. They will create an enemy so they can go to
take
war.
something.
So they just.
Libya
Libya had that. Libya makes the finest oil. That's where they get the best oil in the world from. It was a benefit to get Gaddafi out the way. They've been gunning for him for generations. The first Bush wanted him, and when they ended up getting him during Obama. Both Bushes wanted him, and Clinton, and then they used Obama to finish him off. And they let him go in such a horrific way. On national TV, they had somebody blowing his brains out. And this is a man that did all this stuff.
And he did good.
He even reached out to the United States. He was trying to get with Farrakhan, but they brought Farrakhan up on charges for trying to accept $1 million. Said he was cavorting with a dictator. And I said, they made a charge up. I was like, I'm not all that familiar with politics, with American law, but I do know that. If there's been other people that, why don't they don't bring certain other other national leaders up on charges for dealing with people? Putin would be almost, say if Castro and Putin are talking, They basically both dictators.
Yep.
Why aren't they going in dealing death blows to them? You know, but see, they used Obama because they would use a black face to go into a melanated nation. But them ain't really even the people either. Them people ain't even supposed to. Them ain't the true Libyans either. Those are all conquered. All them mingled people, they've conquered and come into that area. So we just gotta be careful what we let the media tell us. Some of the stuff that they tell us
what
is
we
just,
gotta believe in.
yeah, we buy into it. We start putting people in the court of public opinion, and that's all it is. It's opinion.
Yeah.
But we taking them to court on an opinion. But American law says innocent until proven guilty. But man, people they be guilty just in the court of public opinion.
Yeah.
And sometimes the court of public opinions be so pervasive that people that weren't going to get charged for stuff, and they start making enough outcry, and all of a sudden now those cops they let them all off basically, but they wasn't going to do nothing to them people for Freddie Gray. But then all the stuff happened. Now what was it? The mayor of Baltimore. Then she comes out, and now they got charges on these officers, but they weren't going to do anything at first. So sometimes public opinion can create things that, and be a catalyst for certain events. But when we see the trickery in our justice system, there's no reason to be out here marching, because you ain't gonna get nothing.
Exactly.
They gonna do something, so you gotta march again. Y'all be marching.
Exactly.
We're gonna be marching. If Farrakhan live another 20 years, there'll be another million men marching 2036.
Exactly.
I promise
And
you.
nothing gonna change. And nothing gonna change. Just like Martin Luther King march.
But
Yep.
this is our guy.
Oh yeah.
Right there.
It's all there.
It's
Right
all
there.
here. This
The
is your whole history. This is all us.
Future
Right
too.
there.
This is all
It
us.
tells you why we here, the reason why we here, and how we get out of here.
Absolutely.
Mentally, spiritually, and physically.
Past, present,
Those
and future.
instructions are in there.
That's what it is. The
Basically.
Torah is instructions, my sister.
You're absolutely
you-
right. And
got it.
everybody that was in it followed those simple instructions. And if you followed those simple instructions, you had a certain
Covering.
covering. If you didn't follow instructions, he told you it was the blessings and curse behind it. Or we're gonna hand you over to your enemies. Like right now, we hand it over to our enemies. Do some people feel comfortable being over here?
Yeah.
Yes, just like people feel comfortable being over here in Egypt. Until stuff started happening. I'm sure Moses didn't pop up in Egypt and was like, okay, I'm here. So y'all know that we feel here, and everybody was like, oh, Moses is here. You know what I'm saying? So let's turn away from Egypt. No, there were still people there that was accustomed to Egypt and stuff like that, until they started seeing stuff happening in Egypt and stuff like that, to the point where even the Egyptians were saying, oh no, I gotta get out of here. You know what I'm saying? I gotta go. So there's gotta come a time where people are gonna be like, they gonna have no choice but not to depend on this society. They gonna have no choice but not to depend on America and stuff like that. But right
that's what we
now,
were saying earlier.
That's why I keep coming to these gatherings.
you gotta be ready. You gotta be ready at all times to be ready to go into that wilderness. Or you're gonna be. There's only two types of God's people. There's the people there's God's people where they're like the wife, which is why you have and Hosea speaks on it a lot. The wife that's considered the prostitute. Then you have the one that's considered his firstborn son. The wife is the one who drifts off and stuff like that, and she goes up to other guys, and when the prostitute goes up to other guys, while you have the son who follows the father and follows his ways and his statutes and stuff like that, who's in the image of the Most High. You have either when you're coming out of Egypt, you either that one who wants to turn back and go into Egypt mentally, spiritually, or physically, or you have one who wants to head towards Zion. But you're automatically going to go into the wilderness. You got to go into the wilderness. You have to. And that wilderness is what pretty much is going to be your danger, or you're going to see danger. You're going to come across dangers, or you're going to come across some good days. But it all really depends on
There's different wildernesses too, because we have physical wilderness, and we have the wilderness that we deal with in our minds. So some of us some of us don't understand how to compartmentalize and go into self and do some introspection. You know, some of the Gentiles may call it meditation, and we even call it meditation in our book because we talked. I think I mentioned it last week in Sirach, the 39th chapter, about the man of Yah. He meditates on the word day and night, and and the instructions he gets, he puts them on display. So we have to go. Sometimes we have to go in to ourselves. That's why it's like friends with the world is enmity with the Most High. So we got to break away from the world.
Absolutely.
We got to break away from the world. You got to recalibrate yourself in time. Pray, fast. I mean those things.
Especially fast.
Those are the even when Moshe went up and he was on the mountain, he was praying and fasting. He wasn't slaughtering no animals when he was up there with the Most High for them 40 days, and he was supplicating for Israel. He wasn't up there slaughtering lambs, you know what I mean, slaughtering bulls with no blood dripping off the mountain, fasting and praying. And it is so crucial that we start to implement those.
Same thing with Yeshua. He fasted and prayed every single
He told you that
time.
certain demons, the demoniac, you can't get rid of certain stuff.
And when he was at, when he was in the what was that valley? Excuse me, I can't. Where he went to go and pray.
Gethsemane.
Yeah, he went to go and pray, and then he said, the disciple was like, what should I do? He said, fast and pray. Just fast and pray. That's all he was saying. It was like, it's something about that. I mean, I went through a whole fast as well, and in the midst of that, it's like the Most High hears you a little bit better when you're fasting and praying. The Most High hears you. He knows, and you're not even supposed to let nobody know that you're actually fasting and praying. It's supposed to be between you and the Most High, period. So, or else you're going to get your glory by sitting here telling people, oh, yeah, I'm fasting, and you're going around looking like, so people are going to feel sympathy for you. So you're getting your honor and reward right there. But if you fast and pray and you're doing that, but nobody else knows, but Most High knows it too, you must do it Most High. He's going to give you the glory of that because you're doing it in the sense of that. So he's going to open up more to you. You're going to be more in tune with him in that sense.
When you think about it, even when they were coming out of Egypt, they start grumbling because they hadn't had nothing to eat. The Most High imposed a fast on them. Like we don't even get a good understanding of what he actually was looking for us to do, because if you don't even understand when the manna came in Exodus, I think it was like the 16th chapter, when they start first dealing with the manna, and it tells you that when the sun grew hot, this stuff melted away. So, I mean, this stuff had to be very easily digestible. You know what I mean? And some parts of the book call it angel's bread. Like this was what the angels were actually eating. You know what I mean? So when we talk about the manna, we have to understand that there's certain foods we can put in us that would just distort the frequency that the Most High gives us. That's why He's telling us, I want clean food. If you decide you're gonna eat flesh, then you need to do it like this. I would say don't eat the flesh, but because when you look at it, when you eat flesh, he got a lot of sub criteria with it. But when he told us that the plants, like in Genesis 1:29, when he told us he gave us the plants and the seed bearing trees for our food, he didn't give us any sub criteria with that. Now he telling you, I don't want no blood in it, okay? Even because the stuff has to be ceremonially clean. Like you can't even eat something that died of natural causes. Now you can give it to the stranger that lives with you, but as a holy individual, you can't eat. It has to be something that was raised, set apart, and then slaughtered. But then there's also little rules, like in Leviticus 17, I think around the first couple verses, it tells you that if you slaughter something, it has to come before the tent of meeting first. If you do it without doing that, it tells you that you will count as blood. It'll count as bloodshed. So we have to look at too, when Most High had the ark built, when he built the ark, it was 3 levels to it. And he wanted animals on that thing. It wasn't just going to be human beings on the ark. And that covenant that he made when they came off the ark, it was not only with man, but it was with the animals too. So we have to understand that life is precious. So, and then you think about it, if you eat a fruit, if you eat something with a piece of fruit, it has the seed in it that you can replenish. If you take a life, that life is taken. But you can always replenish
The seed.
with the seed. And most fruit has multiple seeds in it. So I mean, it's like, it was a perfect plan. But when we fell from grace, and the Most High told him that, well, you're going to have to work the ground from the sweat of your brow to get your food. So he's still telling you, even in the fall, I want you eating what you produce from the ground. But man, as we start falling more and more, we had to go to eating a flesh diet. But then when we go over to Isaiah 11, he tell you, no more killing on my holy mountain. The bear gonna do what he gonna eat with the kid is eating. The lion gonna graze with the cow. I mean, and naturally these are enemies, you know.
And the only reason, like if you really watch National Geographic, they not even really enemies. Lion King hit it right on point. It's a circle of life. You know, the gazelle eats the grass, but the lion eats the gazelle. You know, so it's just a cycle. But you can if the lion's not hungry, the gazelle will walk right past a herd of lions, or a pride of lions without no problem. I mean, if the lion's not hungry, that's only if the lion. But if the lion's hungry, then the gazelle has a problem. So, like and I mean, it has to, and it has to get back to that point where, you know, like just think of it, if there's no meat being done with any animal, then who's actually the only thing that's actually killing, or in the sense of murder?
Human.
But that's humans. Other than that, I mean, the next thing to say, well, yeah, animals kill, but they kill out of the sense of either fighting over territory or food.
See, animals, and the funny thing is, when we go back to Bereshit, because what we don't realize is that the same thing the Most High said for the humans, he said, verse 30, I'm going to start at verse 29, but he says, and Elohim also said, look, I give you all the seed-bearing plants, okay, everywhere upon the surface of the earth, and all the trees with the seed bearing the fruit. This will be your food. Then verse 30, and to all the wild animals, he didn't say some of them, all of them, and to all the wild animals, all that creep along the ground, I give all the foliage of all plants as their food. And so it was. Elohim saw all that he had made, and indeed, it was very good. He didn't just say good on this one. He said very good. So, if we want to get back to when he called things very good, we got to go back to this. We got to go back to Bereshit.
Makes sense, huh?
See what I'm saying? To be very good. I got something for you, Aki.
But yeah, I mean, I think that's the whole point anyway. If you look at Yeshua, he never ate out. That one point that says he ate any meat. I mean, I'm trying to even think. Okay, well, yeah,
he did eat some fish. They did eat some fish.
Did?
Yeah. You go into the.
I know he fed people fish, but it never really says if he ate the fish himself. He says that because remember the disciples was always questioning in the sense of, well, Master, have anybody seen him eat? Have anybody seen him? He said the food that you see me eat is not, he said, I get from my Father that's in heaven. You know, I get my own. You know, you don't really know the type of food that I eat or stuff like that. So, I mean, what exactly is that? I mean, what is he eating? He's probably been eating some kind of understanding that's from or if anything, the exact same food that they was eating.
Let's see. He has some.
In the
Was it
wilderness.
Luke or John? Hold on, I'm gonna get this for you.
What time
yeah.
y'all do this class every Saturday?
Every time.
I mean, what time?
2.
2? And round up about to when you get through?
Sundown.
And so yeah, so
Sundown.
it's really at the sundown,
Sundown.
but yeah, we try to go all day. Just yeah.
Well, I would like to sit in sometime. I just
Oh,
gotta go see Dr. Mama
anytime.
now, but I'll make some plans to come in.
Yeah, anytime.
Yeah,
Like,
please join us.
Yeah, I enjoy what I
and
do.
then if there's any questions or you want to add any comments or anything
You
like
know
that.
me, I'm gonna ask.
Oh,
That's the only way you get knowledge.
Got to ask. That's
you have
right.
to
So,
ask.
y'all,
I know you're not a good teacher unless you got people who ask you
ask
questions.
questions, right. Well, thank you so much.
No problem.
Same.
Thank you for coming.
All right.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to find you this. He did eat some fish. You see.
Okay, yeah. Okay, like
Gotta find
he
this.
may have. I'm not sure. I
Oh, he
don't know.
did. He did. 'Cause my cousin will always jump on me about that.
Well, he ate some fish.
Shalom. Shabbat shalom. See, I'm not.
Like, I ain't in the mood for this. I am not in the mood for this. Here we
Okay,
go. Here we go. Luke, have you anything to eat here?
That's
they
okay.
offered him a piece of grilled fish, which he took and ate before their eyes.
Okay. Killed it. Okay.
Yeah, it's Luke 24. Yeah, I was trying to explain that, like, oh man, he ate some fish, man. Like, well, they were all fishermen, so I don't.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my whole thing is though. I think his whole idea was to like kind of refrain from even killing animals and stuff like that, just to stay in. Cause I mean, we can't just think okay, the covenant of Israel or the covenant of Moses. You know, we have to keep on going back because we got to try to also get to the covenant of Jacob. We also have to get into the covenant of Isaac. We also have to we have to fulfill the covenant of Abraham. We also got to fulfill the covenant of Noah. Then we got to get back to the covenant of Adam, where the only thing we have to really worry about is don't touch this fruit. You know, like that. It was at that point, you know. I mean,
See, Yabasop, he had a great point. I remember when I coming in, man. He had a great point because the reason why we have to deal with the written word is because we wouldn't obey the voice. This thing is a curse to hear it, to see it in the written, because we wouldn't obey the voice. So we got to deal with it in the written. We can't even deal with the interaction that they were dealing with when they first came out of Egypt. We dealing with the written word, which is basically a curse that we had to take on because we didn't want to hear it.
Exactly. And then, I mean, because it always started off as it being spoken. But like I was saying, like yeah, I mean, like you were saying, it had to be revealed 3 different ways, in my opinion. First, it had to be orally taught, then it had to be written down, and it had to be seen as an example. You know, like whether it came from a prophet or an Israelite or Mashiach or Yahshua himself. You know, if you want to get to that perspective. You know, but the whole idea is like every single time, like he had to reveal something. Some more laws had to be added to it because when first you started off, was just one simple commandment: don't do this. And then that happened, but then you went down to Adam had did his thing, and then it went down to 10 laws, 10 specific laws: don't kill, don't steal, don't do the name and all that stuff. And then, like, that had to be written down on tablet. They needed, I guess, more in detail or something like that, which came out
yeah.
with the 300. With the 613 law, which pretty much sums up. Which I guess would take the 10 Commandments more into detail with the 300. But then if you notice, like at the New Testament, if you actually sit there and you count all the commandments given into the New Testament, there's 1,050 added or different laws or more laws into detail on how to keep the 10 Commandments. So Christians are not really escaping laws when they say that the law is done away.
They just don't do it.
They just don't, or they just do different. It's the exact same thing. It's the exact same thing with the 360 law, with 613, which I would say, I'm assuming that Christians will call the letter of the law. I'm still kind of confused with what they mean by letter of the law, though. But I'm thinking all you think you have to really worry or focus on is the 10 Commandments. Which is in the end, what's going to, if you keep the 10 Commandments, in the end, it's going to take you back to the garden, what it was supposed to be like in the garden.
In the beginning.
Yeah, in the beginning.
Yeah, I was trying to find because people, he had to keep coming to Moshe because the people really didn't want to hear it. They thought they were going to die just off the voice, because even when he first comes to him at Sinai, he tells him Exodus 19:16. I like to just go with precepts, verses, lines, and just come out the book, so I don't sound come out my own head. It says, now at daybreak there were peals of thunder and flashes of lightning, dense cloud on the mountain, and a very loud trumpet blast in the camp, and all the people trembled. Then Moses led the people out of the camp to meet Elohim, and they took their stand at the bottom of the mountain. Mount Sinai was entirely wrapped in smoke because Yah had descended on it in the form of fire. The smoke rose like smoke from a furnace, and the whole mountain shook violently. Louder and louder grew the trumpeting. Moses spoke, and Elohim answered him in the thunder. Yah descended on the mountain, on the top of the mountain, and Yah called Moshe to the top of the And Yah called Moshe to the top of the mountain, and Moshe went up. Yah then said to Moshe, go down and warn the people not to break through to look at Yah, or many of them will perish. Even the priests who do not have access to Yah must sanctify themselves, or Yah may burst out against them. Moses said to Yah, the people cannot come up to the mountain, since you yourself warned us to mark out limits on the mountain and to declare it sacred. Yah said, away with you, go down, then come back, bringing Aaron with you. But do not allow the priests and the people to break through to come up to Yah, or he may burst out against them. So Moshe went down to the people and spoke to them. So the Most High, he couldn't come to the people because it was just too loud. It was just too loud for him. And, they would get scared, and they told him, no, you go talk. They told him,
Right.
you go. I don't want to hear none of it.
Voice no more.
So that's why we had to get the Decalogue. We had to get it written down because they didn't want to hear nothing.
But I think this hearing from the Most High automatically makes it absolute. It's a difference between, you having truth and you have absolute truth. Hearing it from the Most High makes it absolute truth. Even in truth, there's still room for error. Because it's kind of like how it's done now. Like you have people who read the Bible in English and stuff like that, and then they like, well, yeah, see, it says it right here. See, it says serpent right here, so therefore it's talking about a snake. You know what I'm saying? Because of the years of translations and stuff like that. So if you keep it written in a book, you keep it written down, you still have room to actually add in your own type of deception or your
Yeah,
own type
the
of
interpretation.
because, now it becomes wordplay. You can make it sound however you want it to sound, but, if I'm sitting here saying like, oh, you sly as a serpent, am I literally saying that you a serpent? No, but you can hear it in my body tone, you hear it in my body language, or you hear it in my tone, my voice, that I'm giving off a sarcastic, type thing where I'm saying that you're acting like a serpent, or you hear it all comes down. But when you just read it word for word or something, it's kind of like reading a text message. Like I be telling my wife that like a lot. When you say in a text message and stuff like that, you can't really tell how a person is acting or something like that just based on reading, because like in your mind you gotta kind of put that language or that body language. You gotta kind of make up a certain tone of how this person is saying this message, or how you even feel that this person is saying this message.
That's funny you say that, because that's the same thing I see with these interpretations. Mm-hmm. Like one I have an issue with is Shabbat. A lot of Jews and a lot of Hebrews, they deal with Shabbat Friday night to Saturday night. Mm-hmm. But the scriptures don't never tell us to do that. A lot of people go over to Leviticus 23 and 32, and that's dealing with Yom Kippurim, or the Day of Atonement. And because it says you will keep a Shabbat from evening to evening, people take Yom Kippurim and add it to the 7-day Shabbat. And Yom Kippurim is once a year. This is once a year. But the 7-day Shabbat is something we do each and every single week. Mm-hmm. And the thing that a lot of us misinterpret, because I know some of our brothers in the building, they deal with Shabbat Friday night to Saturday night. Mm-hmm. But when you go into the actuals, I like to go into Exodus, the 16th chapter, and let's see here. I'll just start at verse 19, and it says, Moshe then said, "No one may keep any of it for tomorrow." But some of them took notice of Moshe and kept part of it for the following day. This is dealing with the manna. And it bred maggots, and it smelt foul, and Moses was angry with them. It says, morning by morning they collected it. So this is how you deal with the Shabbat, because morning by morning they collected this stuff. So they getting up in the morning to do their work, right? Because when we read Exodus, when we read the 20th chapter, we're dealing with the 4th commandment. It tells us you do your work for 6 days, right? Mm-hmm. But on the 7th you shall rest. Mm-hmm. Now we also have in Genesis, it says that he called the night, he called the dark night, and he called the light day. So we have to, every time we see day, you can automatically substitute it for light, each and every single solitary time. So Moshe is saying morning by morning they collected it, each as much as he needed to eat. And once the sun grew hot, it melted away. Now, 22, humdinger. Now, on the 6th day, they collected twice as much the amount of food. Now, 6th day, of course, was what they would say would be Friday, and that was a preparation day. So that Friday should be not the lightest working day of the week like we do here in America, but that was supposed to be the heaviest day. You're supposed to do double what you got to do so that you can rest on the 7th light. You know what I mean? On the 7th light, he wants you to rest. So now it says, so on the 6th day, they collected twice the amount of food, 2 homer per person. And all the leaders of the community came and told Moshe this. Moses replied, this is what Yah has said. Tomorrow is a day. So tomorrow is a light of complete rest. A Shabbat sacred to Yah. Bake what you want to bake, boil what you want to boil, put aside what is left over to be kept for tomorrow, not tonight. Okay, because he's talking to him on the 6th day. Mm-hmm. So if the Shabbat is at night, then he would be telling them things that they shouldn't be doing at night. But he talking about what you don't do tomorrow. So then look what happens. And it says, verse 24, so Moshe ordered, they put aside for the following day. And its smell was not foul, nor was there maggots. Eat today, Moshe said, for today is a Shabbat for Yah. You will find none in the fields today, or this light. You will find none, because they were going morning by morning. So what they did here on the seventh morning by going out in the field, this was the sin. Nothing they would have did at night was the sin, but what they did in the light was actually what the sin was. And it says on the seventh day, some of the people went out to collect it, but they found none. Yah then said to Moshe, how much longer? Now he blaming Moses on this. He said, how much longer will you refuse to obey my commandments and laws? And it says, look, Yah has given you the Shabbat. This is why he gives you 2 days food on the 6th day. So he said he gives you 2 lights of food. Every time you see day, you got to think light. So he's giving you enough food for 2 lights on the 6th light.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, when we deal with the Shabbat, I think we make it grievous, because when you go into Mark 15 and 42, I know a lot of brothers don't like to deal with the New Testament, but this is a humdinger. I mean, I'm gonna be 100. I think I'm about to be 100 and over. You know what I mean? Dealing with this, how you deal with the Shabbat, because you got to put verses with it, right? Mm-hmm. I shouldn't be able to just go to one thing. I shouldn't be able to just go to Leviticus 23:32 and just use that and just try to stand on that, because then you would have to say that the Shabbat, actually the day starts at night. If you saying the Shabbat because people say evening came, morning came, the first day. So you have to, in your mind, you're thinking the Shabbat or the day starts at night, but it's not. That's not actually the case. But this is Mark 15 in the 42nd verse, and it says, let me see here, Mark 15, it's 14. Sleep. 15:42, and it says, it was now evening. Now this is the day that Yahushua was put on the cross. This was what they call Good Friday, right? And it says, it was now evening, and since it was preparation day, that is the day before Shabbat. Whoa! You told me Friday evening starts the Sabbath, but they're telling me that that preparation day at evening is still preparation day. It's the day before Shabbat. And it says here that Joseph of Arimathea, a prominent member of the council, who himself lived in hope of seeing the kingdom of Yah, and he boldly went to Pilate to ask for the body of Yahushua. But it's clearly saying that the preparation day, the evening time, does not turn it into Shabbat. It's still preparation day. Psalms 104 and 22. And it says, starting at the 22nd verse in Psalms, it says, the sun rises and away they steal, back to their lairs they lie down. And man goes out to labor till evening falls. So when we dealing with Shabbat, it tells us you rest. It's a day of rest. So it's telling us here that when the sun rises, man goes out to work until evening. So you don't even work at night anyway. So how is that the Shabbat? You don't even work at night. You work until evening, and that's not actually night. Evening is the mixture between the light and the darkness. It's not totally dark yet. So when we dealing with, that's why it says evening came, morning came the first day, because you got to remember there's components of light in the evening and in the morning. So it's still daytime. It's still part of the day. So, we go in and we get these interpretations and we live off certain interpretations, but then if you go through the rest of the scriptures, they don't fit up. They don't match up.
So you're saying that Shabbat don't start Friday night?
No. And it's like Yahushua said, was it Matthew 11? He said, is there not 12 hours in the day?
Get one of them guys. Coke or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
My sugar ran out. So I can't.
Oh, that's what's going on.
Attention.
Okay.
I can't even focus right now. Trying to wake up until it go back.
Make that brother some coffee. Yeah. So if there was an article, I can't find it anymore. I sent it out to so many people. This guy, he had at least 100 precepts and verses to show that the day did not start at night. That's what Boker means. Boker means break of day. So the day starts in the morning. That's why I said he called the light day and the dark night. Every time we see day, we need to think light. If we see dark, we need to think night. If we see, because he said that when the waters went back, dry land appeared, and he called the dry land earth. So every time we hear the word earth, we got to think of it as dry land, because he made distinctions, just like in Genesis 1 where he says, and he made the firmament to go between the waters on the earth and the waters on the Shamayim, and he said then he called the firmament heaven.
Right.
So that word in the Hebrew rakah, the firmament is Shamayim. So the birds fly through the firmament. And so basically that's still Shamayim, because that's what he said.
So it's not where in the Torah, how did people get the understanding that Shabbat started, a new day started on sunset?
They go to Genesis. They go through Genesis, days 1 through 6. And when they say that the evening came and the morning came the first day. But see, I think a lot of people think that the evening is dealing with night, but the evening still is part of the day, because it still has a component of light to it.
Right.
So it's still part of the day. But once it gets dark, then that's night. You know what I mean? We can't distinguish, you know.
Yeah, I mean, what?
Like I said, most of the people they go to the Day of Atonement and try to do Shabbat Shalom up.
But yeah, I don't know. I guess I can kind of add in my little thing about the.
Y'all see them?
Yeah, but yeah, I guess we can go ahead and close up.
Well, I don't know, because we always started Shabbat on Friday night.
I know that, but
Come and get your interpretation.
But
Come on.
that's
Oh, you
not
gotta
what it say.
Shabbat starts on night or day and day.
Shabbat starts on the evening, and this is my perspective on it. You have to think of relatively closely belief systems that establish themselves upon what you establish yourself upon. What's the closest religion to a Hebrew religion?
Jews.
Besides Jews. Islam, right? What do we determine the beginning of the month is?
The new moon.
Why is that? Because we relegate our days based upon the lunar cycle.
Yeah.
So there are books that question that, and there were sects in Israel that actually question that authoritative aspect, but based upon the scriptures, if you're looking upon it, these things are based upon the new moon. So the new moon sets the date. So how do you determine what day is the new moon? How do you determine the new month? The new month is determined by a new moon, which happens when? In the evening. So these perspectives. So
Not necessarily.
All right, hold on, let me say this.
All right.
So now you have laws that if you do anything that's negative or unclean, you're unclean to what?
Still evening.
To evening. So now these laws are establishing that there is a separation between something and this. So now when you go into, you could be unclean all this time, but when the evening comes, there's a new beginning of whatever we establish it to be. It's some kind of new beginning. But a lot of times, one of the things that was actually, a lot of the question that came into about the day and night started with the Jehovah's Witness and the Insight scriptures. It started challenging certain aspects of it. So us being lunar followers, we always follow the lunar calendar. There's the book of Enoch and certain books of the Jubilee that challenges following the moon. So, but they challenge following the moon because you said it, they say it's 10 days off, right? And they say, do not follow those who follow the moon. So when you look at that book, you really understand that whoever established that book established after something that was already going on, because they are casing an argument based upon something that's already a part of the establishment. Yeah. The Tanakh doesn't argue a new moon. It doesn't argue none of that. There's nothing in there that even argues some of that. So even a new moon in itself could be questionable. It's questionable. So now we have to understand, because the word is Kodesh or Kadash. So now if we're looking at it, it says the day is separated from the night, right? They established, it says the day is separated from the night. There's no day and no night, right? Your wife was unclean 7 days. Is she unclean during the night season? During those 7 days? Yeah, she's unclean. Because there is no differentiation between day and night when it comes to a calendar reference of a day. See, Yom is the actual strongest part of the entire day. So it's established as a day. Just like we say baseball.
So Yom is the sun. Yom is dealing with the light, right?
Yom is dealing with complete time as far as morning and
Yom has a different meaning. It means a day. It means daylight. It also goes into a sea, an ocean. It has many connotative meanings, right? But the denotative meaning is actually the establishment of what is the whole cycle of it. So when we separate, we say, oh, see, the Most High separated day from night. Yes, there is a clear separation from day and night.
Yeah, clearly. Yeah.
But they are still part of one day. Now, if you look at the creation story, right? And you say the Most High said, it says 6 days, it says he created what? Evening day for 6 days. But on the Sabbath, there's only the Sabbath day. That means if we believe that there's a separation between day and night, that 7th day is incomplete because it's missing a night. So if that's our stance, that 7th day is missing, and it is that. So I'm not against what the brother's saying, because I heard it before. But my stance is that if we're going back into what we're talking about, because this is what Israelites a lot of times we do. We knock off all the history of Israelites and then create a new history, and we can't do that. We have to be very cautious. So if there's times where you see that there's separation, the separation is in itself certain areas of time of day, certain vibrations, certain frequencies. But when we're talking about the entirety of a day, then the entirety of a day is Yom. And that's my stance on it.
Yeah. So Yom includes the aspect of the light and the dark.
Okay. Like, for example, let's say I go on the Sabbath. Let's say it's a Sabbath day. Let's say Sabbath day started this morning, right? What can I do Friday night?
Nothing.
You really can't do nothing, because you can't touch nobody's house. Right. You can't do nothing, because that is still attached to what's going to happen in this morning. So whether we do differentiate the two, it's still in reality is the same thing. So you like even Mariel when he spoke, Mariel teaches all the time. It's argued all the time. Even he had to say before he passed, and this is honest, this is my truth, and I know from what people said to me, is that even a videotape where he said, I want to go back to doing it the old way, not because I believe that the morning, the night is a day, but it works better. You know why? Because tell Israelites Friday night is not holy. Where they going to be?
They're going to be at the club. but here's the thing. If you understand what Moshe was saying in Exodus 16, that you collect twice as much on this day, because tomorrow's going to be a Shabbat for the Most High. You're not going to find any in the field.
But that's coming from an English perspective, because that word, my car, does not mean tomorrow.
So what does it mean?
It means the brightness of the day.
There we go.
But listen. That is what we're talking about. He's saying that because Israelites, when it was sundown, they wasn't out and about.
Just like we shouldn't be anyway.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. They wasn't out and about. So when he's telling them when that it's called the heat of the day, there's different aspects of my car. There's different portions of my car. So what we do is we deduce it to an English language where they say tomorrow, and we think that tomorrow is something different. Like for example, we still say tomorrow.
I'm sorry. A perfect example is with the Exodus story. A lot of people say, well, did they leave that night that the death angel came, or did they wait until the whole other day? And then because the word there is used is tomorrow.
It's tomorrow. He said tomorrow we should leave, but they left at night.
But they left in that
Right.
And
night.
God
So
said,
it's
in
morning
the day
was
that I
Sunday.
took you out of Egypt, but he took them out of Egypt at night.
That nighttime.
So,
Yeah.
so this is the thing that I'm saying. Of course, when he's gathering, that's what a lot of people use. When he's gathering, he says tomorrow. But we have to understand what is the meaning in its context, because Hebrew words actually have various different meanings in the sentence that they're in. Like kased. Kased is used when kased is kindness or grace or merciful, right? Mm-hmm. But it's used in a man sleeping with his sister. He said you should not sleep with your sister because it's kased.
But it's kind of
It's God.
Wow.
But what does it mean? It means you're being too kind to yourself. You're taking it upon yourself to think that this is okay. You're being too merciful to yourself. That was only an act of mercy because in the beginning, people had to sleep with close siblings in order to procreate him. That was an act of kindness. So now it ain't kind now because now it's generations later. But he's establishing it as it being an act of kindness. Mm. But when they interpret it, it says abomination. See, so that's why the language is very imperative. But the brother got that lesson going on. But I did want to say this. Okay, we not having service. We not having service. We all should be together having service. Let's get this going.
We were doing this like a whole.
I know.
But shalom, y'all. Shalom.
y'all.